I'm going to suggest to you that you protect your interest in it as far as what you're entitled to, a quarter of it.
So we bought these 4 lots when we moved here to Flagstaff at Coyote Pass with the intention of dividing them up into 5 pieces of property and eventually building on them. We're now at the point in the next couple of months that we need to pay it off. I don't think that there's really any need for protection. Don't you think that we have each other's backs as far as that goes?
No, I really don't.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, November 8th, 2024. How is everyone? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Janelle Brown and Meri Brown need to team up in order to get what's rightfully theirs at Coyote Pass. I know a lot of you are a little bit disillusioned lately with interviews that Janelle has been giving on the various outlets that she has been speaking to. And she seems to be walking back some of her criticism of Kody and not claiming to have any inequitable division of assets, even though in this new clip, she's talking about inequitable division of assets and how she believes that Kody and Robyn are going to screw them over. But this clip is Meri and Janelle meeting for the first time in, I don't even know, forever, to talk about their joint ownership of Coyote Pass, with Janelle concerned that Kody is going to, quote unquote, screw her over, which I actually think he still will. And because of the way that this property is divided and how their names are put on the titles of each parcel, Meri is in a very bad spot, extremely bad spot. Kody's name is on every single parcel. Robyn's name is on 2 parcels. Janelle's name is on 2 parcels, but Meri's is only on 1. And that parcel is jointly owned with 2 other people. If we're going to be honest here, the person that's going to be screwed the most in this case will 100% be Meri, because she doesn't have her name on more than 1 parcel. And under the law and the documents they signed, Kody Brown does not have to make good on any of their quote unquote deals they made while they were married, because the legal contracts that they signed and the deeds they signed are not in their favor. And I'm pretty confident Kody did this for this reason. So let's kind of dive into the conversation that Janelle and Meri have.
Would Kody and Robyn really go into this thinking maybe we should get all of the property? I don't think that they're going to screw us over.
I don't necessarily believe that.
Do you not have my back?
I will watch out for you, but I just want to make sure, Meri, this is really your entire estate.
It actually amazes me that Meri would think that at this point in time, after everything she has watched Kody do over the last several seasons and what he tried to do to Christine, that he wouldn't try to screw them over. It's very obvious, and it's been obvious to me since they moved from Vegas, that Kody's sole purpose of moving to Flagstaff was to consolidate all of the equity that they had made in Vegas and to put it under all of his name so that he could control all of the equity. Because I believe Kody 100% knew that Meri was going to leave, Janelle was going to leave, and Christine was going to leave. I also believe the move was because they were going to leave and he needed to keep them still entrenched, but he needed to get their money before they left. And now that it's all consolidated in his name's on every parcel, he has a stake in all of the equity. And the way that the equity division is in Flagstaff, based on how they own the parcels, is that Kody and Robyn, the parcels they own are as joint married couples. So they're each, if they were to split up, they each get half. The way that Meri's parcel is divided would be she's entitled to a third of 1 parcel, where a third goes to Kody and a third goes to Janelle and a third goes to Meri. Kody gets half on 3 parcels and a third on 1 parcel. He gets the most out of all of them. That's intentional, in my opinion. And unless they're able to negotiate with Kody, there's not much they can do about it. And that's the part where I wish these women would have had their glasses on and could have seen what he was doing from a mile away, like what all of us saw him doing on the show. And for Meri to naively believe that Robyn and Kody wouldn't screw her after all of this time actually astounds me. Because last season, Kody was trying to get Meri to live on Coyote Pass in a barn dominium that she would pay for, and then he could store his stuff. Do you remember that? And then he was also trying to make her take like a sliver and only get 2 acres of the parcels. He wanted to divide them into 5 so that he could get his own parcel all to himself. I mean, the way that these lots are divided, Meri is on one of the larger pieces. And according to like the Redfin or the realtor like the estimates, the parcel's worth about $450,000 right now. But that's still, when you look at the total amount of acres that they own, it's like 14 acres. That's not that much money. She should be getting way more than $100,000 or $150,000. So Janelle is going to try to encourage her to not trust them, but this is where they probably need to get a lawyer involved to figure out if there's any other contracts, written or verbal, otherwise, that they can use to prove that the intention was this for it to be community property. I suppose they could go back and look at the footage of the show, but the problem with the courts and reality television is that most often courts do not allow statements that have been put into a reality show because reality shows are often edited and producers can clip together statements and they can put things in and out of order. And so unless there's raw footage of them discussing it that has no editing on top of it, they can't take statements from the show. So I hope there's emails or text messages or something to prove it's community property. We know that that's their intention, but it has to come from a source outside of the show. At least from what I've seen in other cases. I've seen cases that have involved Teen Mom that had domestic violence, but the footage from the show wasn't included because it was from the show and it was edited, and they couldn't prove that this was like exactly how it happened. But she'll continue.
I'm just telling you that you should be aware of what's going on.
Tell me what's going on. I don't know
You
what's
are
going on.
you are on one piece, and
Right. You and me and Kody are on one of the pieces.
and you're on none of the other pieces.
She technically is entitled to 1/4 of the value of the property.
Here's why women in polygamy get screwed. Because in the world of legal documents, there are no such thing as technicalities. Once a deed of title is recorded in a county, it is recorded with rights of survivorship and what the rights are to the people that own it. Like, how is it going to be divided? Once that is recorded and their names aren't on it, they have absolutely zero claim to that property. So Kody and Robyn, they own 2 parcels. And those parcels they own as community property as married couple. Arizona is a community property state, which means that unless Kody buys property as sole and separate, meaning that he didn't use marital assets to purchase the property, that Robyn is entitled to half of everything that they have. So a community property state means that if a divorce happens, properties are divided equally. It's a 50-50, and they're joint tenants, meaning they each have an equal stake in it. With the way that Kody's on the title with Meri and Janelle, Robyn excluded herself from those, and Kody placed himself as a married man that purchased property without marital assets, sole and separate from her. Robyn actually removed her name from the titles of the properties that Janelle is on and that Meri is on. So Kody has his names on everything. Robyn's removed her names. And unless they quit claim deed their names off of the parcel with Meri, Meri is not entitled to anything more than 1/3 of one parcel, not a 1/4 of 4 parcels. It's the way that Kody did this is ingenious. He did this intentionally. he knew so much. He was thinking ahead and he could see what was going to happen, and he consolidated everything so that he gets all of it. And he has to divide it with under the law, he only has to legally divide that one parcel a third with Meri. That's it. That's all she's entitled to. And again, the way that she gets any more of it would be that Janelle and Kody both have to remove their names from the title and sign a document which would deed over a transfer to Meri as the sole owner, which would then screw Janelle out of equity. So she's not going to do that. It's such a mess. And Janelle and Meri are, it honestly, I feel bad that they were scammed this way, but they should have known ahead of time and been smarter that Kody would do this because he's an asshole.
Her name is only on one piece, and it's in conjunction with Kody and I. So if worse comes to worse and it's sold, she probably won't get a quarter.
I would just make sure that what you're getting is fair.
The lot sizes that they purchased are all different sizes. And so they don't own equal amounts of acreage. And unfortunately, if we look at the total number of acres that they own, which is around 14.74, each one of them, if they were going to be fair, would be able to sell 3.685 acres. But there is not a single plot that they own that has that much acreage. It's very messy. According to the property records and how the titles are held for each one of the parcels, Meri only owns, if it were to sell, and if we look at it in the context of what she gets for the sale, because it's a third of one of those parcels, she only technically owns 1.493 acres. Because Janelle's on 2 of the parcels, she technically owns 2.789 acres. Robyn technically owns 3.785 acres, and Kody owns technically 6.513 acres. Meri is 100% the most vulnerable to being screwed. Janelle will not recoup the full amount that she claims to be owed. If she says it's supposed to be divided by 4, which it legally won't be, the way it's currently structured, she's not getting her fair share either. The only one that is protected here is Robyn, because Robyn is the only one that would be getting the equivalent of what's due to her. If they were going to go off the original agreement, she'd be getting about 1/10 of an acre more. Because Robyn is a legal wife and has legal status, she has rights to Kody's property. None of the other women do. They don't. Janelle cannot go on to Kody and Robyn's property and place a lien and say, this is mine and you owe it. She can't. And because Robyn took her name off of the title and signed a legal contract that said she has no claims to Janelle's property or to the one that Kody jointly owns with Janelle and Meri, she can't put liens on their property either. Kody has no incentive whatsoever to play fair here because he's walking away with the most money. And this is why polygamy is bad for women. If you are not legally married, you have no legal rights. None of them that were not legally married can go against his estate and say that they are survivors of his estate, because they're not. They're not survivors of his estate because they're not his wives. They have lied and said they were his wives and have zero legal protections that prove they're wives. So they are wives in name only. And they were fooled by a phony religion to believe that they were wives when they're not. And this is what happens in polygamy. Now, if they actually expect Kody to play fair here, they would be delusional. He will not play fair. He will do whatever he can. And don't be disillusioned. Kody has screwed even Robyn, because if Robyn would have been smarter, she would not have deeded any of those properties over to any of the wives and just to Kody only. Robyn was under no obligation whatsoever to take her name off of any of the titles that Kody held at all, because of Arizona being a community property state. She had no requirement to do this at all. And technically speaking, because Arizona is a community property state, there would be absolutely no expectation that Kody has any money that isn't also hers. So Kody even got Robyn to screw herself out of money. Even though Robyn's getting more than the other women, he still got a way to screw her out of everything because technically she should be entitled to half of everything that Kody owns. Kody plays equally fair in how he screws people over, but the wives get less screwed depending on how much he likes you. And if you look at the numbers, Meri's getting the most screwed. To put this on that Robyn would screw her, I don't know that that's true because Robyn actually removed her name from Meri's parcel and Robyn removed her name from Janelle's parcel. I actually put this all on Kody. Kody will screw them. And I think Janelle here is being smart, but Janelle is also getting screwed. And they're both also screwed out of money from the sale of Kody and Robyn's house, which sold for $1.75 million. And it was a cash purchase. And Janelle and Meri gave them money. They weren't on the title, and they have absolutely zero legal claim to that property. They can't file liens against it. They can't. Kody had mortgages, and he told mortgage companies that this was only his property, that the money that he used for the down payment was his and his alone. He did not have anyone else on the title or the mortgages. And that was, again, intentional. Kody said it was to protect Robyn's estate. He was lying. It's his estate too, because he's married to her. And that, again, is how women get screwed. Whoever is Kody's legal wife will get half of what he has. The other wives don't. Why do you think Robyn wanted to be a legal wife so bad? Just saying. The Browns spent all these seasons trying to claim they were nothing like Warren Jeffs. And sure, they don't have the same criminal charges, right? Kody's not taking 12-year-olds as his wives. But Warren did the same thing to his community. They all were living on property that his trust owned. And he was the owner of all of it. And everyone just had to trust that Warren would do what was best for them. And he didn't. He stole from all of them. That's what these men do. They use their flock, they use their wives, they use their followers to pilfer the money from, to screw them over, to enrich themselves, and to get their sexual needs met. It's not a religion. It's a criminal cult that poses as a phony religion. So men can get wealthy and so men can get sex with as many women as they want under the pretense that they have wives. It's just disgusting. I'll be interested to see how this plays out because technically speaking, yes, the properties were paid off. That did happen, but none of the titles changed and the property remains not on the market. It's just sitting there still. This is not an issue that's remotely resolved. I have zero idea what will happen. As soon as documents eventually do get filed, I'll let you know. And we'll talk more about what Kody has to do in the child custody case and the financial documents he'll have to disclose because it's extensive. So what are your thoughts about this? Do you think Meri and Janelle will be able to do anything at all? Or do you think this is the consequence of polygamy and this is why it should be illegal, right? And why can't Kody be charged for this? Because this is why it's illegal. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.